Good evening. It is now nearly 8 o'clock on Tuesday, the 15th of July. Today has been the 8th day of Land's End to John O'Groats. I haven't done a video log in a couple of days now. I had a couple of days off at the weekend, and that was amazing. You'll have known I've had some knee problems, and that's been quite concerning, but they've started to get better. Still twinging, but over the weekend I had a lot of time to rest. I went to the graduations in Bangor and saw lots of people who I've known for many years graduate, which was lovely. On the Sunday I did about 20 miles with my uncle just to get a little bit further down the road, just to spin my legs, just to try out all of the new things that I had on the bike, and that's been really successful. And then in the evening I went to go and see Status Quo, which is lush. That was a really nice evening, and just a nice way to kind of, round off the first 6-7 days of cycling. So yesterday, the curtain has blown a picture off the wall, but Lizzie will never know. Yesterday was travelling from Chester up to Halifax, past Manchester. I took the Trans-Pennine Way. I decided not to go on the roads and to take a more off-road approach. In many ways this was nice. I didn't see many cars during the day, but what was meant to be a 55-mile day turned into an 85-mile day, so I did an extra 30 miles, and most of those were off-road. And the Trans-Pennine Way, most of the way, is the sort of conditions I'd normally take a mountain bike into. In fact, the sort of conditions I'd normally take a mountain bike with a bit of trepidation. But my bike handled it fine. I didn't have any punctures. I had quite a lot of fun. I discovered a burst water main and had to cycle through it. The water was about 1.5 foot deep. Probably should have taken my shoes and socks off first, because my feet were then wet for the rest of the day. I did get a little round of applause from the people watching, but it did mean I had wet feet. And ultimately it was just a day that was longer than it needed to be. I was going up into the Pennines, and for the last 20-30 miles the rain started coming down, the signposts ran out again for the cycle path, and a number of times I just found myself at the end of a railway track with a pedestrian footpath saying no cycling allowed, and you're thinking to yourself, actually, where am I meant to go here? I'm in the middle of nowhere, there's nowhere I can go. And when it starts raining, actually that gets quite depressing, so that was a little bit tough. And then I had to go up into the Pennines even further. I had to go through Huddersfield. Huddersfield is basically one big hill, and you cycle uphill for about half an hour to get into Huddersfield, and then to leave Huddersfield you cycle uphill for about another hour. And then I went up to Halifax, which is about 10 minutes down the road, and again Halifax you cycle for about half an hour to get into Halifax, and to get out of Halifax this morning took me an hour cycling uphill, 5 miles, constant uphills, about 45 minutes to an hour with a couple of breaks to let my knees rest. I mean, where have all these hills come from? This is meant to be a flat country. So that's been fairly good. I also met some really nice people, and I think I'd just like to particularly thank everyone who I'm meeting on the ride. I've met cycle shops that are giving me all of the nutrients and bars that I need at cost price. I had a lovely chat with Barry, who works near, sort of between Manchester and Liverpool, and we had a long chat about cycling and about life, and a really deep chat about the meaning of love. But he was lovely, and he brought me a drink, and he's going to keep in touch with me and look at the blog and sponsor me. And it was just really nice to meet people when you're spending all day by yourself. So that's been nice. Today I've only done about 60 miles. I did 40 miles to go and have lunch with my mum and with the people she lives with, and that was really nice. This ride has never been about me spending hours and hours a day on the bike. It's been about raising money for charity. So to spend time with my mum and to spend time with other people who have MS, and to talk about why I'm doing the fundraising, and to have a little bit of a break, I think was actually quite cathartic, a little bit emotional. The early riding was quite hilly, and there was sort of, some quite longs ups, particularly out of Halifax and leaving the Pennines. The last 30 miles were pretty flat, and I had a lovely tailwind behind me. My knee was much better, and I was able to actually get the sort of speeds that I'd like to be doing, doing 17-18 miles an hour on the flat. And I really pushed myself into York, and I was, whizzing past other cyclists and undertaking cars at the traffic light, and just really pushing myself as hard as I could, just to give my legs a little bit of a workout after a couple of days not doing much, and gave myself loads of protein afterwards, just to allow some muscle regrowth. I have had a nice evening. It's because I've only done 60 miles. I finished today at about 3 o'clock, so I had some ice cream and I went to a bike shop to get some new cycle gloves, because my old cycle gloves have lost all of their padding, and so I've started to get some pain in my hands. But the new cycle gloves are not only new, they're red, which goes with my helmet and my glasses, and that's really cool. Like, little things make me happy when I spend all day with myself. Tomorrow I'm cycling a fairly long day. I've got 85 miles up to Newcastle, which is the same distance I did yesterday, but this is all going to be on some fairly major roads actually. It's a long way to Newcastle, and so if I try and take cycle paths, and it's just going to add so much, it'll probably take me over 100 miles, so I'm taking the most direct road that I possibly can. So it's going to be some dual carriageways. I have my maps all laid out on a table. I have 4 maps tomorrow. Tomorrow is one of the longest days that I'm going to do. I've also got lots more stuff. I've been sending parcels of food, supplements and powders and energy bars to places along the way, and the next place that I've sent things to is Edinburgh. So I've got stuff for the next 3 days in my food bag. So I've probably got more stuff than I've had for the last since I started. But I'm feeling better. I've got a physiotherapist tomorrow morning at 7:30, and touch wood, and speaking in a whisper, I'm really hoping that I'm now over the knee pain, and it's still a bit sore and a bit inflamed, but I'm feeling really good. I'm really excited for a nice day tomorrow. I'm going to get a bit of rain, but actually, ho-hum. I'm on the roads most of the day, so it's not going to be too atrocious. It's not like being in the middle of the Pennines with a rain coming in when you're on a track that is essentially just grass. That's quite bleak. So yeah, it'll be really good. I'm looking forward to being back on the road, and I'm feeling really positive. And I'm now looking forward to hitting Scotland, which will be the day after tomorrow. I have done a grand total of 530 miles so far on this trip, and I spent 45 hours and 40 minutes in the saddle, pedalling along. So I'm about halfway there. I think that's everything. Hope you're having fun. If you haven't sponsored me yet, now's the time to do it. www.justgiving.com/Anthony Butcher. That's ANTONY Butcher. Head there, and I'll give you another update in a couple of hours, days, tomorrow, maybe, hopefully. I'm going to go and have some cake now. Bye.